Once the inside back is completed, we can turn our attention to the inside arms. I've already put a layer of cotton on this arm, and next I will be putting the final cover fabric on here, which I've already gotten measured and cut out. Now when you lay your fabric on your arms, and this goes pretty much for any piece of the chair really, you want to make sure you have this positioned so you have enough fabric here to pull down and tack, and also when you come up and around the arm, you want to make sure you have enough to go all the way under. In the front, you want to make sure that there's plenty of fabric to cover all the areas that need to be covered, and also you need enough in the back to go through and tack. Here we have the arm basically installed. This little design here is the what I want to demonstrate, but I wanted you to see it done, so I don't want to confuse people too much. But now that you can see what it's done and what we're striving for, I will demonstrate that on the opposite arm. Now here you can see where the fabric was wrapped around the arm, stapled underneath, along the arm front, and we still have these poles and the burlap that we can, now that the arm is installed, we can go back and we can pull those tight and we can staple that off. And I'll do that next. And then I think I'll probably work on this inside wing here before we move to the other side. Here you can see we have the inside wing installed. And as I mentioned earlier, on the outside of this arm, I went ahead and I tightened up the burlap, the muslin, and the webbing. Then we applied our layer of cotton and put on the cover fabric for the wing. So now we will move on to the inside arm on the opposite side, and I'll demonstrate how we make these pleats in the arm front. Okay, we have to start by having our arm positioned on the chair exactly where we want it. We want to tack, come around, pull around here and tack on the side. And we're also going to want to pull it back, tack in the back. This arm should come over and be tacked, and then this part should be pulled forward and tacked, but you don't want to tack too close under the arm because we need to tuck and fold in this area. Once we have that done, we can start by cutting some relief cuts in our fabric. I like to start at about the center. And you can see how that allows that to stretch right around. Also, you want to watch your cotton when you're doing this. You don't want to pull your cotton around over the edge. Just want the cotton to come to the edge. Now, it's not always necessary to bring your cut all the way to the edge. Sometimes it helps. It depends on how stretchy the fabric is that you're working with. In this case, I have a nice stretchy fabric, so it's going to allow me to wrap it right around here. Then we can kind of work our way down. We have to make another cut here. Watch the cotton. Hold it with the thumb. Now it's going to kind of wrinkle up in this area. And we can pull that out by pulling up on our fabric. But right here in the corner of the arm, just under the arm, we're going to need to have a cut there as well. Now our first fold, as you can see, we want to try to keep our folds even on both sides. So our first fold is going to be right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to put a staple so that first fold will hide it. That pulls those wrinkles out of there. And that first fold comes right over and hides that tack. And just kind of come under the arm here, pull it fairly snug. And the next one, you see, is pretty much right straight up and down. Got there. And we have a third one off to the side. Yeah. What we've got now is we've got quite a bit of fabric left here. It's kind of bunched out. We're gonna, as you can see here, we've got a little fold right along the outside of that arm. I'm gonna have to take a few tries to get that right where we want it. Now this excess fabric you're gonna want to kind of lay back and bring this over. Pull it tight, and you can see as we pull it, we still need to fold that a little bit more. We just have to keep working with this. Now this is a good place where you can use the back side of a regulator, or even a dull flathead screwdriver will work. Just kind of smooth that out in here. Just like that. I can pull that tight. I've tipped this chair up on its side so you can get a little better angled picture of what I'm doing here. I've come around the bottom part of the arm, folded this, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of cotton in here. I think I finally got this right where I want it. We're going to down the side here. Now these staples will be covered with the outside arm. There. Okay, now that we have the inside arm done on that side, I can move along and I'll finish up the inside wing. What I'm going to demonstrate here is how to sew a welt cord. Some people refer to this as cording, others refer to it as piping. It's pretty much all the same thing. In this case, we're using a 5/32 welt cord. And for a 5/32 inch welt cord, I like to cut my cover fabric 1.5 inches wide, and that gives me a 1/2 inch seam allowance. In the machine I have what is called a welt foot, and it is specially machined so that there's a groove in it that this welt cord runs right in, and it's automatically sews to one side of the cord. You can use a zipper foot if you don't have a welt foot. It's a little harder, takes a little more sewing skill. Well, here we are. All the inside pieces are complete, and we have all the muslin and the burlap pulled tight through on the back sides that we had to wait for. And now we can start to upholster the outside pieces.